Good morning. We are starting now the morning prayer in conjunction with the headquarters of the World Messianic Church of Africa of the 12th of September of 2020. Amatsunuritu, the Messianic prayer and the Lord's Prayer.
Kamaharani Kansumari Masuka Moragi Morami Nami Kotomachite Sumemi Yoy Kamu Izanagi Nomi Koto Tsukushi no Himo no Tachihana no Odono Ahagi Harani Misogi Harai Tamo Toki Ninare Masero Arai Dono Kamitachi Moro Moro no Magagoto Tsumike Gareyo Arai tamae kiyome tamae tomaho sukoto no yoshi Hamatsu kami kuni tsukami aoyorozu no kami tachito Ameno fuchi koma no mimi furi Tete kikoshi meseto kashikomi mo maosu. Miroko mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Miroko mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie mi oyanu shino kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie mi oyanu shino kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Kanagaram tamachi hae mase. Kanagara tamachi hae mase. O Supreme God, Creator and Giver of all life. O Supreme God, Creator and Giver of all life, by Thy divine will, the long age of night has come to an end. Thou art releasing Thy direct light to live the glorious new age for which mankind has long been yearning. We thank Thee for guiding us to Thy divine light program. We thank Thee for the privilege of receiving and channeling Thy light. May our spirits and bodies be illumined and cleansed. May we live the precepts Thou hast given us through Meshu Sama. Make us pure channels of Thy divine light, blessing those with whom we come in contact. May the plan for the new year of light be fulfilled, and peace, health, and plenty become a reality. Great God of light, bless us and protect us, and give expansive radiance to our souls. Our Father who art in heaven, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Please have a seat. Let us receive Jure. End of Jure. Teaching of Meishu Sama. The power of speech. Wonderful results can be experienced through prayer. When a person is seriously ill and in pain, or in danger, or faced with some other difficulty, Japanese members often chant the Amatsunoritu aloud. The person in difficulty is relieved. Sometimes so miraculously, he wonders how it could have happened. There is a definite reason for this action. It is the vibratory power of speech which causes such a seeming miracle. The universe is filled with ether, in which 75 great basic sounds with all their variations or different frequency rates are in continual vibratory motion. This area is called the spiritual realm of speech. By means of its frequencies, all things in the universe come into existence, and they in turn emit certain wavelengths of sound. The human ear is equipped to hear only the sounds which fall within its limited range. The words we utter are impressed upon the ether that surrounds us, creating vibrations which influence the spiritual realm. Virtuous words emit high vibrations which diminish the clouds in the spiritual world, while bad words emit low vibrations which increase the clouds. There is a specific order to the arrangement of the great basic sounds in the spiritual realm of speech. The wavelengths of the words which convey good and loving thoughts are attuned to this order and the law of truth, virtue, and beauty. They are pleasing to the human ear because they penetrate and contact the soul, the center of awareness. Conversely, bad and hateful words do not reach the soul but stop in the mind. The secondary spirit, which is of animal nature, can possess the mind and stay there, but cannot enter the soul. The denser the clouds that surround the mind, the stronger and consequently more active the secondary spirit becomes. Secondary spirit covered the light of the soul. The voice of conscience becomes weak, and the individual begins to take delight in doing wrong. Most people are pleased at hearing something good. Because the vibrations released are of an uplifting nature, they cause a pleasant reaction to the spiritual being. When people enjoy hearing ugly words, it is because the secondary spirit, like the low vibrations the words emit. For instance, if good people were to overhear some men of evil intent making vicious plans, their conversation would sound so unpleasant to the listeners would hardly be able to bear it. Yet, to the men it would be pleasing. When benevolent words reach the innermost part of the spiritual body, the primary spirit takes on greater radiance, and this begins to dissipate the clouds surrounding the soul. This then causes the power of the secondary spirit to diminish. As it does so, the primary spirit gains more power and becomes predominant, causing the individual to develop a greater dislike for words with a low vibration. When the Amatsunoritu is chanted, the powerful vibrations emitted by the words weaken the secondary spirits within those who are chanting and also in those who are listening. If an individual spirit is in possession of one of the listeners, torturing his body, that spirit will have to leave. It is enabled when clouds surrounding an individual's mind are diminished or dissolved, the physical body is freed from the suffering accordingly. The vibratory power of rightly chosen words is tremendous. Thus, when the Amatsunoritu is spoken aloud, the surrounding spiritual world becomes much more purified. Also effective in this way are the Lord's Prayer, quoting from the Bible, singing hymns, and chanting holy words, though their rates of vibratory strength vary. Were it not for these good words of high vibratory rate, there would be far more clouds accumulating all over the world, causing even more disasters than we experience today. There is another important point to bring forth in regard to the power of words. It is not only the vibrations of the words themselves that determine their effect, but also the degree of purity of the spiritual being uttering them. The purer the soul, the more powerful will be the vibrational waves emitted by the words that are uttered. Therefore, we must always do our utmost to raise our vibrations to a higher plane so that our words will have greater power. Teaching from Mesh Sama from the book Foundation of Paradise, 1950. Greetings from the Vice President of the World Messianic Church of South Africa, Minister Paulo de Paula e Souza.
Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Are you good? Very good. It's a great blessing from God and Messiah Meshu Sama to be with you all here today. It's a special permission granted by God and Messiah Meshu Sama through Reverend Claudio, who asked me to share with you my testimony today. I know that we have been apart for quite some time, but I know that we have also been together through the prayers, through the spirit of Meshu Sama, throughout this pandemic state that the world is going through. As I told you yesterday, I became a full member with my family in March 1985. So it's been 35 years that I have been practicing and receiving Jorei. And all the problems that we had when we became full members, they were overcame and they never came back. It's been 35 years that our family has been blessed. Yes, we have had purifications, but not those who have brought us to this church. And in 2010, I had the permission to start a new family when I got married to my wife, Laila Souza, in Brazil. And we went, of course, after the wedding ceremony, we went on a honeymoon to the northeast of Brazil. And on the plane, as we were flying to our destination, she started complaining of cramps, of pains, menstrual pains. And she told me, it's been long that I don't have these pains. And I gave her Jorei throughout the flight. She became better before we landed in Bahia, in Brazil. And we forgot about pains, of course. We enjoyed our honeymoon. We came back to Africa. We came to Mozambique. It was January 2010. And in February, there were the pains back again. We had forgotten about them, but they came back, even stronger. I never saw that in my life. She would roll over the floor, crying, screaming. I didn't know what to do. I tried to phone Minister Roberto, couldn't get through. I tried to phone Reverend Lauro. He started to faint. So much strong were the pains that she fainted. in front of me. I didn't know whether she was sleeping, she fainted, but she would open the door, open her eyes and start screaming again and give her Jorei, and she would roll over and I would go after her, following her, giving Jorei and crying, screaming. And it would be 24 hours, 48 hours like that. She could barely eat. The phone members were coming, the ministers were coming, and it would last 2 or 3 days. And then it would ease the pain. And again, March next month, and again April. So much strong that our lives start to happen around that pain. So 15 days before the menstrual cycle come, she would say to me, hey, 15 days, the pains are coming back. And I would tell her, no, they're not coming back this month. But within, I was in panic, in fear. What's going to happen this month? And it would be strong again and again and over again. January 2011, we were in Brazil and we went to doctors to have exams following the guidance of our superiors. He said, it's better you do some exams. And we did. And they found out that she had a polycystic ovaries. It means that a lot of stones on her ovaries. And that her ovary, the walls of her ovaries, the skin was too thick. So it wouldn't allow the eggs to go through. And those eggs were becoming stones inside of her. So she was infertile. She could not bear children. All her cycles of ovulation, she would not ovulate. The eggs were being kept inside. And therefore she could not bear children. The only chance we had was a surgery. But even so, all the women who do that surgery, only 30% can have children afterwards. But even those 30%, 3 out of 10, they have to have assistance, medical assistance. They need medication. They need to go, and it's very complicated. And she would have, might have the chance of losing the control of her bladder due to this surgery. I must tell you that when we heard those news, we were not happy at all. When we told our families, they were also crushed by this news. They said, maybe you should have that surgery. And of course, as a couple, we spoke privately. And I asked her, please, let's try one more year, Jorei, one more year. Said, okay, it's fine. We came back to Mozambique. When we came back to Mozambique, the pains were even stronger. Stronger, like I can't tell you. Most of you know, most of you seen it. And again, no children. And again, we went back. We had more exams in Mozambique. We had more exams in South Africa. We went back to Brazil. More doctors, more exams. No medication, but more exams. And they were all the same. This lady cannot have kids. She cannot have children. We were devastated. I must tell you, we were devastated. At this time, the pressure from the family to have the surgery was even stronger. But again, I told her, let's try once again, one more year, Jorei. To make things better or worse, I don't know, we came back and this was now the year 2012. More and more pains, more and more. I started to travel a lot. And sometimes I would have to leave my wife alone in Mozambique. and the love of the members, the full members, the ministers, supported us, but also made me very cautious. What's going on? How is she? And I would do my dedication, but my mind sometimes here. We went back again, more exams. One doctor said, "Whoa, I like this case, difficult case. I like this. Come back next year." So one more year. We came back again. And it was March 2013. We were on lunch break. And I start to feel my heart accelerating. My heart start to accelerate. I start to feel pins and needles in my body. And I start to think, I told her, I think I'm having a heart attack. Because I'm sweating, my arm is numb, I'm having a heart attack. We phoned Reverend Claudio. He was in a meeting. We told to the secretary, stop the meeting, I'm dying. And he prayed for me. I started to feel better. I did exams. Nothing was wrong. He guided us. Exchange your A every day with your wife. Do maximum effort. And change the way you eat. The only thing I ate for the full year, rice, white rice, pure, no oil, no salt, chicken, grilled chicken, every day for 12 months. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, breakfast, lunch, evening. Every day. One of the ministers told me that you're going to start to fly because you're eating chicken. And we start doing more. I don't know how many maximum efforts we done. Once my wife told me, how are we going to pay the rent this month? I said, I don't know, but I'll do it. And I would sometimes talk to Meshu Sama. Meshu Sama, why are you doing this to me? No, I'm not perfect, but you're really going to make me go through this. You give me wonderful parents, and now you don't give me the opportunity of exercise parenthood like the ones you gave to me. Having children, other couples being blessed. Not that I was jealous, but I would ask myself, when is my turn? When is me? Or sometimes someone would come to me and say, I think I'm about doing an abortion. And inside of me, I was like, give it to me. I will take a child. But of course, as a minister, I was giving the guidance of Meshu Sama. And it was around September 2013, we went to another doctor. So let's try again. Maybe something changed. But my wife is like, I'm having pains and nothing changed. I said, no, but let's go. And went to this doctor in South Africa, and she looked at the exams. We brought her, we took her all the exams. She said, okay, it's fine. You cannot have children, but let's do an ultrasonography, an ultrasound. And she did the ultrasound. She looked at the screen, she looked at the exam, she looked at me, she looked at my, she said, are you sure these exams are yours? I asked my wife, these exams are yours. Didn't they get maybe a mistake? No, these are mine, you see, many. But what is this exam? I don't see here inside of you. I can see that you are even ovulating. You're ready to become a mother. We were like, what? Yeah, you're ovulating. No, look again. So there's nothing wrong with you. If you're not pregnant by November, come back to me. Said and done. By November, my wife was pregnant. Today we have two beautiful children. My early born, my eldest is just turned 6 years old, Paloma. The youngest one, Paulinho, just turned 3 and received his Ohikari 2 weeks back. And I can't tell you how blessed we are and how grateful we are for knowing Meixo Sama. One thing Reverend Claudio told me, he was very happy when we got pregnant, but he asked me, Paulo, would you still believe and accept Meixo Sama as your Messiah had you not be pregnant now? It's a very hard question, but I must tell you that yes, I never lost hope. Sometimes I was down, sometimes I was up, but I never lost hope. I'd like to thank you all for this support that you all have been giving me throughout my missionary path. And I would like to still count on your support and on your prayers. To thank God and Messiah Meixo Sama for this wonderful blessing. We did again our maximum effort, and we have been doing now and then. But more than that, we are committed, or we have committed our lives to spread the word and the light of Meixo Sama throughout the whole world. Thank you very much for your time. I wish you a happy Saturday and a happy weekend, and we see you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. May God and Meixo Sama bless us all. Thank you.
Hereby, we end the prayer in conjunction with the headquarters of the World Messianic Church of Africa of the 12th of September of 2020.